You are listening to SheKings with Erica and Allie. This is a podcast for peasants who don't want to live shitty lives. Every week we share insights on how to stop living out of habit and start living out of inspiration. So let's do this.
Recording.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Welcome to SheKings, everyone. SheKings. We are a lot of things,
That's
but to
true.
narrow it down, I know we wear a lot of hats, but just to make it clear, every week we bring clarity to overused spiritual buzzwords and little known spiritual concepts so that you, our listeners, can live a life with more freedom and ease. And Erica, what episode is this?
It's the Big 50.
Oh,
Boom, 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 boom,
okay.
boom. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And this is our last episode for season 2. So we did 20 episodes in season 1, 30 episodes in season 2. And yeah, SheKings is doing its thing, and we hope that it is serving you beautiful people and that you are enjoying it. And during this time that we're taking a break, we would love to hear from you what you want to see us doing in our 3rd season, anything that you'd like to hear us talking about. Obviously we always invite complaints.
Do we?
We do, like, I don't know what will happen. Like, and we have, I mean, we definitely had some people who don't appreciate our tone here and there, but you know, they make it through.
What can you do?
What can you do?
But I think we have an episode on not changing the way that you are to make other people comfortable. And if we don't have that episode, that one's next.
Episode number 1, season 3. You're welcome.
So how are things with you? How's Amsterdam?
Amsterdam is the bomb.com, especially right now because we have a glimmer of sunlight. It's fucking city. It just rain. It's 60 freaking degrees in the middle of July.
Why?
I can't tell you. It's terrible. So yeah, that's what's happening in my world. What about you? What's your deal?
I just traveled, went to see the grandkids and my dad. So that was fun. I never lived in a mask for so long in my world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I think just breathing it in was like, so now I have like a head situation going, like sinuses. And so I am back in Colorado. I'm doing a cleanse, detox to kind of balance out the body. But besides that, I'm doing good. Classes are bumping, have a lot of cool opportunities. As I'm sitting here looking at my toes, I'm making a mental note that I need to get a pedicure. So I'm just making a list and knocking it out to get back into the swing of things, being home. So yeah. And we haven't talked in a while. So do you have any favorite things that you want to share that you've got going on?
I think that what comes to mind right off the top of my head is my favorite thing is people waking up to their power in this world, especially around racial injustice. And yeah, just, you know, it's interesting because my aunt actually put together a group with one of her ex-coworkers. And it's a group of mostly white people who are working through, I think the first one is, it might be white fragility.
Okay.
No, I think it's becoming anti-racist. I think it's that one, being anti-racist. And I'm in the group and somebody was asking, like, do you think that everything's sort of dying down and like no one cares anymore? And, you know, I went in there with my black skin and I was like, you know, at the end of the day, the real work that needs to be done can't be televised.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the time where people, this is the time when people need to start reading. They need to start connecting with their neighbors, and they need to start doing the actual work of loving the people next to them and understanding their role in the system. And yeah, it's not a show. And I that's one of my favorite things right now, that people are in their own time and in their own way taking a deeper look.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
And that plays a perfect segue into what we're going to be talking about today for our episode 50 and our last episode for season 2.
Yes. This week we are talking about how not healing your pain and your trauma is essentially giving your power away.
Yeah.
It's giving your power away. And I think there are a lot of reasons why we're focusing on this, but I was sharing with Allie, you guys know I like to post on my personal Facebook page. Did I break up?
No, you're good.
Okay. I like to post on my personal Facebook page questions and observations and on and on and on. And the other day I posted, you don't have to change. There's nothing wrong with you. Accept yourself. And it started a discussion with a friend of mine from college who was saying, okay, well, but isn't change natural? And otherwise, how do we find growth? And my response to her was like, of course, change is natural. And so that means we don't have to have an intention to change, right? But the intention is to heal. And that healing is most easily accomplished by just accepting who you are.
Yeah.
Accept who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was saying, yeah, but what about when people have, some real extreme stuff going on, or if they have some sort of self-destructive behavior? And what I was saying to her is that it's especially in those cases where people have some sort of self-destructive behavior that they need to be in the business of accepting themselves. That there are plenty of times where people come to me to work with me with coaching, and one of the things they leave with is, I'm struggling with, some sort of self-destructive behavior. It could be anorexia, bulimia. It could be using drugs or alcohol. For some people, they want to come off of antidepressants or, whatever sort of mood enhancers that they're dealing with. And here's the truth. That's not my, in the sense of the greater world. So I can't hang out a shingle that says I can help you quit drugs. Like, that's what your 12-step program is for. That's what your therapist is for. That's what your psychiatrist is for. And I think that's outdated thinking. Period. I'm just going to put that there. If you find a qualified coach or a qualified spiritual teacher who plays in this world, then absolutely, I think it's perfectly valid for us to go and work with these people. And I will tell you, I get fucking results. And what I say to these people is like, absolutely, I can support you through that. I can help you with that. But I will never talk to you about that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's never going to be a focus of one of our sessions to try to adjust your behavior in some way. And so this comes back to this idea, not healing your pain and your trauma is giving your power away. Because what I do with them is I take the deep dive with them session by session by session to look at what it is that is underneath. What is that pain? What is that trauma that is causing you to rely on drugs or alcohol or whatever the heck else? Right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting with my friend because I understand the inclination of most people to want to play on the surface and say, well, you do need to change because you do have this self-destructive behavior. But it's like, no, what you have to do is dig a little bit deeper to that part that you've been struggling with for forever, that thing that you want to change. You want your past to be different. You want that circumstance to be different. You don't want to deal with the pain that it brings up.
Yeah.
You got to go down to that and accept it.
because change can be just surface, right? So people who do stop drinking, or, you know, who do break a habit, right, make that change, it leads to another thing because they
Yes.
haven't gone deep to figure out, like, why am I doing this in the first place? So yeah, no, that is, it has to, you have to accept yourself, you have to heal that, and then change will automatically happen. And I've seen it
Absolutely.
time and time again, where once you accept yourself, love yourself, then these um, whatever things that you were wanting to be a part of aren't even a draw to you, because you don't feel like you have to stuff, you know, stuff yourself full of some external stimulation or some distraction, because you're like now totally into who you are. And so when we talk about not healing, giving your power away to the oppressor, that's just that. I mean, the oppressor can be anything, right? We can talk about race, we can talk about drugs, we can talk about food, we can talk about relationships, we can talk about sex, like whatever you're going towards that's supporting a part of you that's keeping you on a cycle where you're not really looking at yourself can be considered an oppressor.
Absolutely. But even that is just a surface oppressor, because the
Yeah.
real thing that is oppressing you is that feeling inside of you that you want to escape from.
Yeah.
So, Allie, why do you think that so many people find themselves in this cycle of giving their power away? Because I think most people know, like, I don't want to be clearing out this carton of Haagen-Dazs.
Right.
I don't want to be, you know, because overeating is one of those things. Like, I don't want to be constantly freaking complaining. Why do you think that people give their power away?
Because I think when people, and I did a post on this, I think last week, when people have something to engage in, whether it's blame, whether it's anger, whether it is a habit, a vice, whatever it is, it keeps them occupied. And when you are occupied, you're not having to deal with the pain. And that is what's underneath, is the pain at looking at why you are doing these things. It's painful.
Yep.
So then if you think about it, the oppressor could be how you were raised, your parents, right? I'm this way because of my parents. I'm this and this because of my parents. But when we take all that away and we truly take the time to look at it, it's like, no, now we have to deal with that pain, that hurt. And that's been really evident just going through this whole race transformation that we are in right now. Is why do people want to hold on to anger, right? Because like I love it, that one picture where this couple painted over Black Lives Matter, right? So it was yellow and they painted over it black.
I did not see that.
Yeah, and so they painted over it black. But I'm just like, but why? Like, why do you want to just, instead of just acknowledging it, like, yeah, you know, that's cool that we're just keeping this anger going, right? Because if we took all of it away, everybody would have to sit with the pain of, wow, this is how I've acted. Because right now we have a justification on why we're acting the way that we're acting, why we're reaching for that Hazen dog, why we're this and we're that. But when we take all of it away, we have to work through all of that shit.
Oh,
Nobody wants to start to dig through pain. Our bodies are natural to move away from pain. We rarely move towards pain on some level. And so our body wants to either continue this, you know, ice cream makes me feel good. It's a feel good type of connection. So let me get some ice cream. Even though when we're done eating the ice cream, we're going to have some type of pain, regret, shame, whatever it is. But in the moment, it feels good. And that's what our body goes to. It's just like, nope, let's just feel good. You know, I'm justified in doing A, B, and C. Because if we take it all away, then it's just like, no, let's get real. Let's talk about your behavior. Let's talk about your responsibility in your life, basically.
yes.
And people are just like, I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And, you know, as you're talking, what's coming up for me is that couple things. One, we never learn about this in society.
Yeah.
Like, even, it's all about teaching kids how to apologize and what to be sorry for. And this person caused me to feel upset because they said this thing. Like, obviously, I'm not supporting kids like smacking other kids in the face, but
Right.
like a lot of things that we have kids, you know, um, apologize for. It's kind of like, well, this child doesn't want to share their toy.
Right.
Oh, say sorry, share, and Dutch is sama spela, sama dela, like, together we play, together we share, right? And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, that's cool, unless my kid doesn't want to, in which case she's not sharing and she's not apologizing, right? I'm not going to teach her to like go against like what feels good in her spirit
Yeah.
so that some other kid can feel okay. But the greater point is that society teaches us to like scapegoat and to like make other people responsible for our feelings, and to go out and seek these apologies and to feel guilty and feel bad, when at the end of the day it's like something's come up inside of your soul.
Right.
Like, handle that first.
Mm-hmm. And let me interject real quick. It is how we were raised, right? All of the things to behave in a certain way instead of dealing with it. So one for me is like, give your auntie a hug when the baby's just like, no, I don't want to, right? And then not honoring that feeling. And so then we are taught at a young age to just pile on top of it instead of honoring ourselves. Well, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how I'm supposed to show up. And then we just have adults, which is all this layer of shit that we haven't spent the last several years looking at, which is the pain, right? I don't want to give so if a baby could talk and really portray what they were feeling, I don't want to give my auntie a hug because I'm not feeling well in my body, right?
Yeah.
Let me deal with my pain that I'm dealing with from something that my mom said yesterday, and
Yeah.
I'm still holding on, right? And so we just pile it on so many layers. And so, yeah, I agree. Like if your kid, yeah, sharing is caring. I totally get it. That's what the babies say. Sharing is caring until you don't fucking want to share. And then it's sharing is resentment. How's that?
Right.
Share with you.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be so resentful that I may kick you when I walk away.
Yeah. And the kicking, right? This like destructive behavior is going to be the thing that I used to cover up the fact that I had to push down in my soul what it really is that I think and feel. And so again, we come back to not going down to the bottom of what it is you actually think and feel, not actually dealing with the pain and the trauma, gets you to a point where you are giving away your power.
Yep.
You have given it away. So, Allie, what is power?
Man, power is everything. Power is the ability to say no. Power is the ability to say yes. Power is the ability to walk away. Power is the ability to say, man, I'm a proper cunt. That's my new favorite phrase.
I
Like,
think
you're
you
a
said
proper
that last episode, like proper cunt.
proper cunt. I love it. All these British movies I'm watching, I was like, oh, proper cunt. That is power. Like anything is power where you can just go against what you would normally say yes to or no to. Like that feels so good. Like, no, I'm not going to do this because I actually don't want to. I don't want to give my aunt a hug because, yeah, I'm not feeling it. This is my body, my space. Like, man, power is everything.
It
Power is
is.
absolutely everything. And it shows up in so many different ways. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I believe that power is freedom and
Mm-hmm.
power is innocence, right?
Yeah.
Because when I am not, um, when I'm able to heal what's going on in my world,
Mm-hmm.
and that puts me in a position where people can say and do absolutely anything around me, and I'm not going to go to my pattern. So I'm not going to shut down.
Yes.
I'm not going to lash out. I'm not going to, like, I have this pure, powerful freedom, this ability to just walk the fuck away. I have this ability to engage in the conversation if I want to. I have this ability to do whatever it is, like literally, like move to Mars. Like
Yeah.
what you have said and done is like, it has no effect on me. Like that is pure freedom. And I think that when we're living in pain, and we're protecting our pain, we are constantly having to respond to things to stop them from touching the pain.
Yes.
And then innocence, I say that because I feel like, again, when we're not in this place of responding and protecting the pain, then we're also not in a place where we remember what somebody did to us yesterday. You know, so you get to be sort of fresh and new, and to see and hear with new eyes and decide if you want that thing to mean something to you, right? Because if you don't have this build up, stored up pain, which is the buttons that people press,
Right.
then, you know, when someone does or says something, then it's free to cause you to respond and say, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or to ignore it or to whatever. But man, my mind is just like, I don't know where it is.
It's episode 50.
It's episode 50. We are tired, but let me see if I can like finalize this like innocence thing. When we are holding on to this pain and the button is pressed, then you're getting, 20 years of fire coming back at you. But when you have that innocence come back, then it's a completely different story, because all of a sudden you're in a place where it's like, this is completely fresh and new. And that response is going to be able to, what comes up is going to be able to be honored without dealing with some shit that happened 20 years ago. It's like its own thing all of a sudden.
I am in that now. And I think I've touched on this last time too, is just forcing myself to engage with people on Facebook about this race issue, right? To the point where I'll read something and I will get so defensive. Like I can feel my entire body just tighten up, and then I want to cry. Like I feel like I'm being pushed against a wall, like cornered. That's it. I feel cornered. And so I feel like anxiety. And so I started to notice this, to be like, why is this coming up now? And it was the little Ellie, right? The little Ellie who never stood up for herself, the little Ellie who was intimidated growing up. And so now I have the opportunity to take back my power. And of course, I will want to come from a place of like, just going off on people, but I'm so glad that I have Mark to like kind of put my words into like my thoughts into kind words, to soften people also as I work through this healing thing. But I can see it, like if me giving my power away would be me just lashing out, right? And I see it so often, just anger and name calling and all of this stuff. That's giving your power away. And the oppressor,
but also not speaking up. So going back to little Allie who wants to sit there in a corner, it doesn't always look aggressive, right, to be controlled by other people.
Yeah.
Yes. It can also look like you hiding in a corner and like feeling bad and like, thinking about what you should have said and all of that type of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. And so it is just finding little ways to pull your power back to you, whether that is speaking out or, I always fight, so let me walk away, or, pick my battles, whatever it is. So yeah, everybody's power and how they give it away and how do they utilize it is so individual. But everybody should know what that looks like. Like, what does it look like for me to give away my power? What does it look like for me to hold my power? That's so important.
Yeah, I think, we could go in a lot of different ways for homework, and we can make a lot of different recommendations about how to become, how to heal and how to, take back your power and all. We could do that whole thing. But what I think would be more interesting for homework this week would be for people to start to wake up to those situations where they are running away from their pain and running away from their trauma and latching on to something else to cover it up. So whether it's feeling sorry for yourself, or it's lashing out, or it's engaging in some sort of self-destructive behavior, um, you know, a lot of times it becomes such a pattern, it becomes so automatic that we don't even realize we're doing it. And so I find that awareness is 99% of the battle. And so for our final homework of this season, I would love if everyone would start to wake up to when their inclination is to run from the pain, to run from the trauma feelings, and then see if you can choose a new response. You don't have to act on it.
Right.
But you can at least try to imagine what else is available to me. Because when we're in it, we think that the only thing available is to go lick our wounds, or to go lash out, or to go do a couple lines.
Yeah. Yeah. My biggest one was I always needed to call my sister and share what I did to get her support, right? To get that validation. And that was the hardest thing for me, is just to sit and not text anybody, not call anybody, just sit with what happened. Oh my gosh. I feel so naked, where I'm just like,
yes,
oh, like I felt like I was on just an island by myself, just exposed, because I didn't have any like wrap me up in, you know, in comfort and validation. So that was a huge shift for me. So, and I'll notice myself doing it. You know, if I reach out to my daughter, I'm just like, why are you going to invite that in to her world? Like, this is your shit, so sit with it. And I think that's one of the biggest things for me that I've shifted, and I am still shifting, to really realize what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend it for everyone. I love that you gave that final example, because I think that it's a big one that, you know, and I think I've talked about this before, but like I have a friend who just keeps sending me like every single Karen video. It's like Karen did, or Ken did something today. He finds it and he sent it to me. And I am like, this is you sharing your pain and your trauma and refusing to actually confront it. Get your life, sir.
Get it together. Get it together.
Get it together.
But I think this is such an important topic, and I love that we closed out our season with that one, because it's with everything. It's going to be coming up with the Black Lives Matter, your own individual vices that you may have. Like it's everywhere. It's everything.
It is.
So you can be aware of it and start working through it. That's going to be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So Allie, can you please tell folks what you have going on right now, in addition to where they can find you? Because you have some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, the studio, it doesn't matter where you live, we have a second studio now, which is Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. And it's called US at Home. And so you can join us for classes. All of our POC classes for people of color, are all free. And we have a summer special, which is unlimited classes through August for $65 a month. So come get your yoga and your meditation with us. We have awesome teachers. I'm going to be doing a lot of connecting online with different types of yogis and hair flip. Sean Horn and I will be doing a share the mic, hopefully next week. So this has been really fun. I mean, I'm liking it. I'm liking putting myself out there and connecting with all these beautiful souls who are supporting Black women and our voices and wanting to get our stories out there. So you can find all of that on social media, on Instagram. All the things is Allie Duncan Be Seen. And what about you, Erica? What do you have going on? I know you have those Thursday night talks that you've been doing.
Yes. Well, first of all, Allie Duncan is being seen right now. Like, you are doing all the things.
Thanks.
And for me, yes, definitely find me at Erica Danielle Overshares on Instagram and on Facebook. And I have a ton of stuff that is going to be coming out. So definitely follow me, follow SheKings, because I'm going to start a group coaching course sooner than I thought. So that should probably start in August or September. My guess is probably August. And oh, I am doing a Black Joy Summit,
Yeah.
which I'm super excited about. And so it'll actually be a little bit going deeper into a bit of what we talked about today. And so the topic is spiritual alchemy, transmuting pain to power.
Nice.
And yeah, my part will be shown on August 1st. It's a 3-day thing. So definitely find me on Instagram and you can get your ticket. There are free tickets, there are paid tickets, and there are ally tickets. So if you are interested at all in encouraging Black joy, then definitely check out the conference. I think the last thing is definitely, we're going to take a break right now. We've already started to take our break from social because we tired, but we will be back on social, and we will be showing up 1000% for you guys in this space between now and when we kick back up again. So find us on Instagram, follow us, and just connect with us. I think that one of the good things that came out of this Black Lives Matter thing is that I feel like I'm really, really connecting with actual people now. Like I see social media completely different. And so on a person to person level, like guys, like reach out. You know, I always hear from my clients who listen and they're like, oh, like that episode was great.
Yeah.
But I see our numbers. And so it's more than just me and Allie's clients who are listening. Who are you people? Make yourself known, please.
No, I love that. And please go to YouTube. Give us some feedback, some 5 stars, all of the things on iTunes, Google Play, all of it, so we can keep building up our platform and getting our message out to the masses. So that's it, you guys. Season 2 is a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to so much more content for season 3. So enjoy your summer, doing all the things, and hope to see you in different arenas in our world. Peace.